All right, this is Ducktales, episode 14. Dime enough for luck. All right, so Scrooge's nephew shows up. He's an arrogant asshole. So Scrooge walks out, doesn't like these smugs, steals his paper to bring him down a notch, take off for a walk. Newspaper disappears. Nephew talks about how he's always lucky because he's got this clover, and then he falls into a hole. And Scrooge brags, "Yeah, you're not lucky, you fell into a hole." And then water squirts up, just completely covers Scrooge, breaking his 17-year record of not taking a shower. The nephew pops up, smug again. Says that it was worth falling into that hole because he found $1, but he also broke both of his legs. They're just powderized. So he explains that he was taking Scrooge to breakfast because he wants to sell him his money clip because he doesn't have money for rent. So Scrooge is like, well, then don't be stupid. You don't have money for rent. You can't buy breakfast. I'll walk in first. You walk in second. What would you know? Nephew's the millionth customer. There's a little band here. It turns into Carnival, not the TV show. And they give him free breakfast for a year. And so the nephew takes his hat off. Looks like he's got a soft skull. It's his weird looking head. Starts eating some cake. Pours this drink, and he finds out that there's money in it. Not at all concerned about coins being in his beverages and food. He's more happy that he found money. Meanwhile, this old lady, she's listening in. She's got this pink clam. She's a real old lady. Oh, no, wait, she fell. It's Magica with just a Magica Dispel with a little bag on her head. So she grows 4 feet, takes off running to her hotel. And you can tell by the outside of the hotel, this is a real dump. But once you get inside, you learn you're the idiot. Naturally, it looks like a palace. She's standing at a suite at the Bellagio. And then her eyes go wonky for a bit. This episode's full of a bunch of wonky eyes. Just go back and forth here, a little bit of wonky eye. And then she pulls out this staff and blasts the sky. Doesn't explain what's happening. Nothing ever comes of it. And then Scrooge wants to show off his new security system, so he takes him down the hallway, protected by his favorite painting. And he explains it's got the new security system. These pillars will come down and crush you if you step wrong. So he throws this dime. Pillar comes down, breaks it, destroys the tile. There must be like a guy who does masonry work who lives on premise and is just always replacing tiles. So oh my god, the pillar comes up and the coin is 8 times bigger. Remember when you used to put pennies on the train track and then you'd go get it and it was the size of a manhole cover? So he explains he's got these lasers. He's also got these mallets. They go to look at the lucky dime. And then the nephew goes home. He wants some clothes. He gets a phone call. Starts acting sassy and catty. Chair gives up. Starts dancing. He's had enough. So the nephew goes to visit Cyndi Lauper from Vibes. She blasts him in the eyes with her psychic powers. And then she explodes. But luckily Magica shows up to keep the story moving along. Nephew can't believe it. So he goes to a 70s game show, but it's really Scrooge's money bin in case you couldn't tell. The 70s porno dog shows up. He explains that he's here for no reason. And then Magica turns into a slut duck. She's got these, you can see her boobs are drawn in. She's got a little pencil line to show her cleavage, but she's also got like crotch lines drawn in, so you know exactly where everything is on her. But it's even weirder by the fact, it's highlighted by the fact that he's not wearing any pants. So what's going on there? She just realized he doesn't have pants, so she covers her eyes. He stumbles drunk, doesn't get slammed by anything, but that guy's got some mean tiles to replace. Porno dog snaps his back. Nephew gets cut up by these lasers, and then all these mallets give up like the chair did. No one wants to be in these episodes. So his eyes go wonky, then they go wonky again, and then the money gets a fever. And then his eyes go wonky again. And this old lady, I don't know what she is. She's got these jowls hanging down. She starts screaming, hit him in the head. Nephew realizes things haven't been going his way, so he decides to start beating animals. He kicks this dog. Dog gets pissed off. Nephew said, "Oh, you think that was humiliating? Wait till I ride you." So he rides him around town for about 2 hours, so the dog gets exhausted. Drops him off at his favorite water hole. And then he gets all wet. He goes for a dip, comes back up, realizes he's dressed like the Joker. And Scrooge gets sprayed by a joke phone. Someone set up a prank phone next to his real phone. He's got 3 phones there. One sprays water, one sprays Zyklon B, and the other one's a normal phone, so he never knows what he's going to get. Scrooge lives on the edge. So he takes time to yell at this little person that works for him. And I don't know why Scrooge is so mad. His stocks are going through the roof. So then Scrooge is mad the nephew lost his dime, so he does 200 push-ups on his desk. Says, until you can do 200 push-ups, don't talk to me. They book their favorite little boat plane, take off from San Francisco. They fly from one island to another, to another. It's a little smog-covered island. It's obviously Catalina. Yeah, that's Catalina. And Scrooge starts seeing Magica everywhere he looks. He's going crazy. Pulls his nephew up with a rope. They get up there, and Scrooge thinks they're done with the rope, so he just chucks it off. They don't need to get back down. Wanders into a cave dead-eyed. Cave starts to cave in. His caves are known to do. Blocks their path. Then Scrooge sees something. He tells his nephew not to go. Nephew doesn't listen, runs ahead, freaks out, and he sees, if you guessed it, Bunny Rabbit with the body of a T-Rex who also breathes fire. So then the nephew's like, I can't handle this anymore, and he just dives into the water. He's going to commit suicide. Bunny gives chase. Scrooge throws a top hat full of water into his mouth, and he makes his throat bubble. He gets wonky eyes, a bunch of wonky eyes. Magica, meanwhile, she's going to melt this dime, so she's standing in front of a pentagram. And Scrooge and his nephew are going to get crushed by the ceiling, so they start talking about regrets that they had. Nephew said he regrets he never got to do anything crazy with his uncle. So Scrooge is like, well, don't go out that easy. I didn't know you were into stuff like that. So he charges, he breaks through the glass. Glass goes in his nephew's eyes. They come in the room. Magic puts a spotlight on. Is like, your turn to entertain me. So Scrooge starts singing On My Own. And then he realizes he can use this money clip to sear the eyeballs and blind Magica for the rest of her life. She drops a dime, falls in this crack. Scrooge makes some off-color joke about something about the origin of the Grand Canyon. And then this Twister shows up. Magica gets stoked. She's blind. She starts flying upside down. Does a reverse Ducktales crotch shot. And then she casts her Patronus spell. Her Patronus is 3 meatballs. Scrooge and his nephew realizes their time to do the crazy stuff together, so they start doing all their favorite positions. They got the old double header. They got the cranky uncle. They got the thumbs up Toledo. They got the I do mine, you do yours. They got the look this way. They got the old butt gasp. They got the old put your foot down. They got the old butt to bill. And then they explode. So Magica dies in the explosion, but they're okay. So this garbage is blowing around. Nephew gets worried about his vision, so he puts on his favorite glasses from Back to the Future 2. Used to be able to buy at Pizza Hut. And they walk away in the sunset, talk about how things have been bad ever since women could vote. Anyway, that's this episode of DuckTales. Hope you have a great weekend.